Hello friends, welcome to Intuites.
Let's begin the class.
Let me know if you're able to see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right. So hope your installation part is completed, correct? If I have an issue, just do let me know. I can guide you there.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Regarding my
Hi.
installation, I did the installation, but I didn't
Mm-hmm.
find the tables in the tables and
No, no,
whichever is
nothing.
showing here database. They are not
That
there
nothing
here.
will be, that nothing will be there. This is I only create. This is my list.
Okay,
These are
not
the
even
things you will need
database
to.
folder.
Database folder will be there, right?
No, it is not there. That's why.
No, it should be
That day I
there.
want to show you the screen sharing.
Just can you just let's see, let me figure it out that because the problem is I'm not seeing the participant list here so that I can give you the rights to you as okay. That is the
Okay.
problem I'm facing here.
All I have is SQL Server Configuration Manager local, native client, and network configuration, and that's it. Native client configuration. That's all I
But
got.
after your installation happened, did you install this SQL Server Management Studio as well? Where you are right, I'm just in right now because when you download the SQL Server Developer Edition, which I given you, after that installation completed, it will prompt you to just install the
I,
SSMS.
I, I believe I remember doing it, but
Hmm.
I'm not sure. Is there any way to check?
So you can just type here in the search area SQL Server something. So is this coming? Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio 18,
One,
19, whatever maybe it is coming.
one second.
You can just check it out.
Yes, SQL Server 2022 Configuration Manager.
No, that is not the one. Management Studio, nothing is coming.
No, sir.
Okay, then might be your installation has been different. This installation is not proper then.
Oh,
So you went through this only, right? So let me just try to
through the site, yeah,
wait.
basic. I selected the basic version.
Not basic version. That's what I clearly told you that. So when you are having the SQL Server downloads, why you done the basic one? It's not
Uh,
the ideal. Which basic you did it? From here, which
if
one
you
you
go
did it?
down, yeah, if you go down,
No.
if you click the download now, then it will ask for two versions.
Which download you click?
Developer download now.
Developer will work, right?
Yeah, developer download now. I pressed and it
Hmm.
asked me two
It open,
versions.
okay.
Which one, basic or enterprise or something like that?
She's talking about after downloading.
Okay.
No,
After download, what is
Yeah,
asking?
after downloading, it is asking like basic version or some other two types.
yeah.
So which one you
Even
take
I
it?
have downloaded basic one.
Basic one will work only. So basic one, once your installation is completed, this is the server download, and after that installation completed, it will prompt you to install the SSMS. Install SSMS one button will be there on the
Yeah,
end of
yeah.
the screen. There you need to click and it will install your query editor. This is the query editor. That's it. As simple as that.
I remember. I mean, I think it prompted me SSMS, and I remembered downloading that also. But somehow it is not.
And install it. Download and installing
I
both.
installed it. I installed it. But now it is not. Yes, it is there. Sorry, SQL Server Management Studio is there.
Yeah, it's there, right?
So I have to open that.
Yeah, let me tell you at the very start. So
Yes, I'm opening it now. Once.
So just see my screen once. So you need to
Okay.
open up your SQL Server Management Studio. And it will just open up. Maybe your version will be much more than that. Then it will be ask you the server name. In this case, my server and my
It is asking me
everything
the server
is
name.
it will be that's what I'm saying. Just hold on. The server name and everything is on my system itself. So it is
Oh,
localhost. There is nothing server name will be there here. Okay. So it will be server name, it will be localhost. And authentication type. So there in SQL Server there are most probably three types of authentication. Authentication means the user ID password. Okay? How you are logged into the database. So there are three kinds of authentication actually works. First is your Windows authentication. Windows authentication means the authentication when you are logged into your laptop, right? Or not, or system, whatever your system is you're working on, you are giving one user ID password to log in, correct? So
yeah.
SQL Server also will consider that as a user ID password. So that is called your Windows. And suppose you have selected SQL Server authentication, then you need to give separate user ID and password if you set it up. But in this case, I don't know how you install. You install through this way or how it is when
It
you are
is
installing it.
showing me the screen
Hmm,
which I'm
hmm.
seeing it in your screen. It is I got the same screen.
Okay,
Server name is giving my name, not localhost.
localhost. Give your
Uh,
localhost only.
by default, I mean automatically it has picked up my name
Okay, then
and
fine. Then click on
authentication
connect.
window. Okay, shall I
Then
keep the
connect.
local host or my name like that? By default, it came.
By default, it is coming. It's fine. You can take it.
So okay, then Windows authentication I'm connecting.
So now,
I,
if you open your database, now let me take over from here. Okay.
okay,
Now
thank.
you click on the database, right? You are seeing on my screen a couple of databases are there. So for your screen, this will be white completely. There will be blank. There will be nothing will be there. But if you expand your system database folder here, then this four will be automatically there. Master, model, MySQL div, TempDB. These are the four database will be get installed through your SQL Server automatically. Okay,
Yeah,
this is
it
make
is
sure.
there. Yeah, it is there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody is able to hear me.
Yes. Yes.
Now, these are the four system databases which is comes to the installation. So we are not touching this one because this is will have some configuration things. So this database is different. This is different. But we need to create our own database to work on that. So we need to create our own database. Inside that we will create our own tables. Then we will work on different concepts of the SQL. Okay. So to create the database, there are two ways. One is through the graphical user interface and second one through the commands. Let's see. First to the suppose direct way. So we can just right click on this database folder and we can click on the new database. Okay. And we can just give a name here, any name you want to specify here, but give some meaningful name so that it will be easier to understand. Okay, don't put demo, all these things. So like something like that you can create. Okay, just put some name XYZ and just click on the OK. That is one way to do it. I'm canceling this one. And another way is there's just right click on the master. Okay, master database and you click on the new query. New query in the sense there will be a white space will come in the right hand side which is your working area. Okay, which is your working area. So click on the new query. Now this is the area where you can type it some the normal SQL statement where you can type it whatever you want. And once you connected right here, this drop down is there in the SQL Server. This is most important. It will point you that which database you are in. So suppose you have multiple database, you can just click on the drop down and it will list you all the database if you have. But right now I should be part of your master database to create a database. Okay, so now I will create something like this through the commands. So I can take create. Okay, to create the database, create database name. Simple. Something like this. That's it. We need to just create it database. So you need to create like this. Okay, and select it and just execute it so that database will also get created. Either way is fine. Any questions?
No.
Now the same way, just let me close this. No, I have created one database for this page. It's called the SQL Data Analyst. Okay, the same way I created it. The name is SQL Data Analyst. Now we need to work on this part always. So whenever you comes up, we expand your database, go to the appropriate database, select it, right click, new query. So that what happen? You are inside your that the database and you will have a space where you can write some statements. All right, up to here, any questions?
So, just for a better understanding, this management
Good.
studio is nothing but it holds it shows all the databases, right? Sir?
It's id it's id to write the queries for the SQL Server.
Okay. Okay.
integrated integrated development environment so that we can
So
do something any
multiple databases we can access at one point.
correct.
I mean,
That's
in
correct.
access in the sense, yeah, we can switch on to
Yeah,
multiple
yeah,
databases.
correct, correct, absolutely
Okay.
correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
and here we will have, it's not like in a real time if you logged in here, no, you can have 50 databases, but you should based on your roles and responsibility you will able to see the database which you should be part of or you have the access. So that access part will be taken care by the DBA. You don't bother about that which database and what all these things. Okay, but when we expand it in a real time, only the database which you should be part of, or suppose you are part of a project, that database only will have the access, otherwise no. Okay, that's correct.
Okay.
Okay, now on the database is just like a, I can say if I literally transfer it, it is like just like a folder. Okay, and in SQL everything store the data. If you want to store the data, ultimate thing is the database holds data, right? You want to store the data at any cost somewhere. And in SQL, always it holds the data in the form of a table. That's the That's the thing. This is a relation database management system, and everything we want to store, it will be in the form of a table. So once you enter to the database, your first job is to create the table here in this case. And let me clarify on this point is that when you are working on a project on a real time, right? This create table, or you want to enter some data inside the table, all these things is not part of your job. I'm very clear on that. Okay, because we never get a chance to create the table, or rather we can say insert. We can just retrieve the record as per our requirement. Okay, we can fetch the record from the table, but rather we can create the table. But create table is not part of our job. In a lifetime of a career, we never create any table. One thing we will create, that I will discuss, that is called the view. Later on the stage I will discuss about that, but make sure that you should not have the responsibilities at any cost to create any table. But since this is our learning purpose, so we should create it. How to create, we should know for an interview perspective. Make sense? This question is very clear.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you don't have a responsibility on this one. Okay, now since how to create a table here. So syntax is very simple. Okay, so I will say table, create table, and you need to give it table name. Okay, so let's take I say sales underscore order. Okay, this is the name, and two parentheses I want to give it here. In between, I need to define what are the columns I want to keep it inside the table, and what is the type of data it holds. Suppose I am taking a name column. So name will not hold 10, 20, 30, 40, 60, right? Name will be hold ABC, XYG, um, then alphabets, all the alphabets will be stored, right? So every character, suppose I am taking up a joining date or birth date. So that holds a date rather than it holds the number, right? So each column have some characteristics of what kind of data it holds. That defines the data type of the column. Clear? Make sense? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So here
Yes.
I am defining few columns here. So first, let's take customer name. So customer name is a string type. So for a string type, I have a data type called varchar. Okay, and the size. Suppose I am giving 5. I'll explain you what is exactly 5 is all about. Okay, so varchar, and I inside that I'm giving 5. So it means that the customer name is a character type of data, or it holds character kind of data and up to 5 characters. Okay, next, suppose age of the customer. Okay, so I am taking integer for this. So I will give you an age is 20, 30, 50, whatever may be. Okay, date of birth, state. So let's say these are the three data types. I have just kept it: customer name, age, and the date of birth. Fine, makes sense. Now let's select it and execute it. So here, what you created exactly. Now go to your database, and here on the tables, you expand it. I have created the sales order here. Okay, so this is my table, but this is just like you created your structure. Okay, you have the structure, but you don't have any data inside that. So how to see the structure here, whether the table is there? So to fetch the record, let me put it this: to fetch the record from a table. Okay, so what should you do to fetch the record? You need to use another statement which is called select. Guys, I'm just doing it. Any point, if you have any questions, please do let me know. Okay, now to fetch the record from a table which you created it, select star. Star means your all the rows from the table. Okay, Star stands for all the rows from this table. Now, if I execute this, I don't have any data, but my structure is there. I have 3 columns: customer name, my age, my date of birth, which I created. But I don't have any data inside that. So it is not fetching any record from this. But this is a statement to fetch the record from a table. Okay. Now we need to insert some records because there is no data for me. Insert some records. So how to insert some records here? Let's see. So the statement is insert into. The statement is very simple. Insert into. Where you want to insert? Tell me where you want to insert
Into
it.
the table, sales
Yeah,
order.
sales order. Correct. So sales order. Then I need to say values and bracket. And in this bracket, I need to give the each value of the particular column. So I have customer name, age, date of birth. Okay. So let's take example. So when you have a data type of varchar or the character, when you are inserting, it should be go with the single quotes. Okay, since it is a character type. So I say A, B, C. This is my first customer, comma. Then age. Age is second number and it should be on a sequence. Okay. So whatever the sequence you created, customer name, then age, then date of birth, that sequence only you need to insert it. Okay. So suppose let's take 23, then the date of birth. So just remember, whenever there is a data type called character or even the date, okay, that should be in SQL. Always it will go with the single quotes. So like this, single quote. Okay. So let's take 01 05 2023 like this. Okay. Now I have inserted. Let's see, execute this. Insert. So it's saying that one row got affected. Okay. Now let's record one more statement. Just copy. You can modify that only, but for your sake, I'm just writing one more. So let's take XYG. Let's take 25 and let's take one more record. It's like 2/5/2023. Okay. Now insert one row got affected. So now if I select star from sales order, then I should get at least 2 records because 2 records are inserted here. Click on this. Yes, obviously we are getting this one. And one more thing, just observe that whatever the format you inserted, automatically the date will be year, your month, and the date. This is the default format in the database. Okay, you can change it for your own sake. That we will discuss when you go to the date functions and now. But whatever the way you inserted, it will just convert it into the year, month, and date automatically. Okay. Now let me insert one more statement here, and I'm putting a, let's take E S D F G H G. Okay. And let's take, I'm giving, let's take 25, let's take 3. Okay. Now I'm inserting this record. It is saying that it is an error. Why? Can anybody tell me what is the problem on this?
Character size you have give
Character
5.
was 5.
Correct. So here we have defined only the 5 characters and you are giving more than that. So that's why it is not taking. You should give a 5 records. Fine. You understand this? Okay. Now, suppose you accidentally given this varchar 5. Now your job is to change it to something like 50 or 100 or something. So now the table is already created. Okay. So one way to is that I can just delete this table completely. Then I can insert or again create it with the proper data type like varchar 30, 40, 50, 60 or 100, whatever may be. I can do that. That's a one way to. Indirect way is that just drop the table or delete the table, create table again with proper data type with proper configuration. But that is not the ideal case, right? Because in a real time we can't drop it, right? We should not delete the records. So, and if you delete it, you will lose the records also. So for that, we need to use another statement. Suppose modify existing tables. Okay, how we can modify existing table now in this way, I want to modify the data type of this varchar. Okay, so for that, what I need to do, I need to have a alter command. Alter means, you know that, right? Alter means what? Editing, right?
Change,
This word is
change or edit.
correct. So alter table, then your table name. Then in this case, I can use couple of statements. I can use add, I can use alter, or I can use drop also. So we'll see one by one what exactly all the things. So now the first, so this alter is a command, alter table name. Then I want to alter my customer name like this. Customer name. Now this time instead of varchar 50, I want to put 20. Okay, make sense?
Yes.
Getting the question? Okay. Why the error is there? Let me execute this. Okay. So we need to give the column here. Sorry. So alter table name, alter column name. Then the data type changes. Okay. Syntax is clear.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So now if you do it, okay. And before executing it, I want to show you something as well, so that you can see that the changes also. So just expand the sales order from the left hand side, columns, and if you see the customer name right now it's varchar 5. Okay, now I am executing this statement. So it's saying that command complete successfully. Now just right click on this database, refresh it. 1 second, guys. Just give me a second. Okay, now if you see, now if you expand this table and if you expand the sales order columns, it is changing to varchar 20. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay, good. So now if you execute this insert statement, hopefully it should allow now. Correct?
Yes.
Yes, it is got allowed because my data type, the size got changed. Now if I select the statement, select start from my sales order, I should get 3 rows. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's take on the same table, we have already 3 rows, 3 columns I have. Okay. Now I want to add one more column extra. So one more way, delete it, then create it. That is not the ideal way. So this is for the modify. This is for the modification, right? We did the modification. Now let's do the add. So same way, I'll say alter table sales order add column. Okay, this time I think add column is not required. I think let me just check this. Let me write it, then I can confirm this. So I have customer name, I have a age, and then I have a date of birth. Now I'm adding address column. At address varchar of let's take 100. Okay, so this is the one column I'm adding to this particular table. Okay, makes sense. In case of alter, only this column is required, guys. Okay, when I'm adding it, I don't require. So I'm saying alter add table sales order add address. So this now if I execute this, command complete successfully, and if I execute this, I should get another column. And anyway, for these three records, I am getting null. Why? Because this record was already there. Then I inserted the new column. So for these three rows, I will get the null. So this how to handle all these things we'll see in the picture later in the stage. But these are the two ways we can do your alter and add. Make sense? Any questions up to here? Do
No,
let
sir.
me know.
No.
Okay. Now
Samir, one
suppose,
question. I'm
go ahead.
sorry, Jaya here.
Go ahead. Yeah,
Uh,
go ahead. Go ahead.
so if I need to insert any more details, so I have to write a new code into the existing um, rows. Now, as the
In a
address
sense,
is null,
this, yeah, correct. Now there are three parameters previously. Now you need to give four parameters. That's correct.
you have to
That's
give
correct.
it again. You can
Yeah.
do it. You need not give it as alter anything in the same.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. And one more thing, instead of 3, if I write it as 13 or
Where?
22 in the date,
Where? Here.
insert date, instead of
Uh-huh.
3, if I write 13 or 22, any date,
Doesn't
will
matter.
it takes
No,
as
no. Yeah, it doesn't matter. So what the
that
date?
comes
As
as a
long
month,
as
I guess.
22. No, 22 will not come. If you give suppose
That is a
31st
month.
also to what? Sorry.
03 is the month it is taking, right? Is it
No,
taking
on
as a
my
month?
screen. No, this is date. This is
Okay.
month, and this is year. Okay. Why?
Okay.
Because my
No.
system is a date, month, and year.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, when your screen you are on US, suppose, let's take it will be month, date, and year.
Month, date, and
So
year. Yeah.
yeah, so that
Okay.
depends upon your system compatibility, how you are.
Okay. Got it. Got it. Okay. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Okay, now the last one, the alter. So in the alter, let's take alter table sales underscore order. I want to delete some column here and to drop one column, only single column. The one which I created, the address, let's want to drop this column. So alter table name, then drop. Drop is a statement to delete the statement. So delete the column or delete any object in the database. Okay. Drop, then I say address. Okay. And if I execute this, okay, drop column name, I think. Let's see. Sometimes, let's see. Yeah. So alter table name, drop column name. So now if I execute the select star from my sales order, I will get only three columns, right? Make
Yes.
sense?
Yes.
So these are the three operations we can perform in alter. One is modify the existing column with that data. And in this case, the first one which you are doing it, this is only to modify the data type of the columns. Okay, make sure that we are not modifying anything else. And in this one, we are adding in a column separately, and this is to drop the column which is there in the file. Okay. Any questions up to in these three statements? You can do let me know. Okay. Now let me tell you one more thing, that suppose you want to do a rename. Okay. Few databases, I don't know about the MySQL, but I work on Redshift and Snowflake, all these things. There we have a scenario is called rename. Okay. Is something like this statement will work. So alter table name, then rename column, rename. But here somehow this rename is SQL Server is not having. Okay. So to alternate to this rename, suppose what I've given here in the customer name, I want to rename this column is like cost underscore name. Instead of putting customer name, I want to put the cost underscore name. So for that, I'm going a little bit advanced, but still to go just close it out. And when you are expanding your database, right? Okay. So if you expand slowly down, there will be one folder called programmability. Okay. If you just open up this one, there is a folder called store procedure. We'll learn in this course that how to create the store procedure and all. But store procedure is something like it's a block of statement to execute some task. So don't bother about that. So if you just open up this store procedure, right? Let it expand. And system store procedure, expand it. Then there will be one already defined system procedure will be there. That is, let me check. Even I also forgot the name, but let me check. Rename something will be there. OPQR. Are you able to see any rename, guys, here? Somewhere? Just do let me know. Huh? Yeah, this one. The sys underscore sp underscore rename. So this system procedure needs to be executed to rename any column of the table. Okay. How to execute? If you want to execute any store procedure, you need to say execute, execute or exec. That's it. Execute or exact. Then you need to give the name called sp underscore rename. Okay, this is your store procedure. Then in a single quote, what happened this name? Yeah, sp underscore rename. Let me finish it up. Then we need to give your sales order table name, sales underscore order dot whatever that column you want to change it into, suppose customer name, in a single quote, space, sorry, comma, I think, comma. Then you need to give the new column name. Suppose I want to say cost underscore name. This is my new name. And inside last one, you need to say it's a column. That's it. Okay. So if you do this, then your under this table, the customer name will be changed to cost underscore name. Okay. Now, if you execute this, it's saying that changing any part of this will break the store, but as per our practice, we are doing it, and it is saying that comparison time is done. Now, if I execute, select star from my sales underscore order, then my rename should be done. See, cost underscore name instead of customer underscore name. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions up to here? How we can create the tables? This is the way to create the table. To fetch the records, this is the statement select we need to use. So insert some records, we need to use the insert statements. And if you want to modify something, you can use the alter, modification, add, drop. And suppose you want to rename something, then you need to execute this store procedure to rename it. Make sense? Up to here, any questions, any doubt? Do let me know.
Samir, one question. Should
Go ahead.
we write the code in uppercase only? Is it particular or
That is
is it the same?
no, there is no hard and fast rule. That is up to your choice, like how comfortable you are. Okay. But
Okay.
basically, uppercase is good because it looks good to me. So that's what I followed from the long that I'm using the uppercase. So you can do
O-
whatever you want. Doesn't matter.
Okay. Okay, got it.
Yeah. Okay. So now this is the one. Now next question would be select or retrieve um, few columns only from table. So now when you are putting select star, it is taking everything. Suppose you want to retrieve only specific columns. So I can write like this. Select. Then I need to be specific with the column names. So I will say customer underscore name, comma, date of birth. So these are the two columns I need it from my sales underscore order. So if I execute now, then I will get only those two columns. Okay. So this column name should be separated by the comma. And if you give the star, it will give you the all the records. Make sense? Question? No, right? Next, insert specific columns values. Specific values to columns. So how we are writing the insert statement? Let me copy from the below. So now this is the way we are writing. Right? In this case, we are writing that insert into sales order values, and you are writing for all the columns. This is for your customer, this is for your age, and this is for your date of birth. Suppose you want to insert only, suppose somehow you got the information for customer name and the age, and we don't have any date of birth. Right now, the customer didn't give us the date of birth. Then this statement will not work, right? Because I don't have a data for one of the columns. And if I try to remove this, suppose like this, and suppose let's take the name, right? So just a name I'm given, the customer name I've given, and age I have given. I'm not giving any date of birth. If you try to execute this statement, it will throw an error because the column name, the number of column you supplied is not matching. So in my table, I have 3 columns, but we are supplying the values for 2. That's the problem here. Okay. So how to make sure that this will be work out? So we need to, you got the problem statement, right? Here.
Yes.
Okay. So how to avoid this? So after your table here, right? After the table name, just put a bracket here and put the column names. So insert into sales order. I will say cost, customer name is there. Is it? I have cost underscore name, right? I change it, right? No, it's not.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a cost name only. Cost name and suppose age. Then the values. Okay. So I am be specific here that I am trying to insert to the customer name and the age. These are the two columns I have given, and for that I am giving the values. So if I execute this statement now, sorry, then it will say that one row got affected. So now if I execute the select star from order, for the last record, the date of birth column will be null because we have not provided any data for this. Make sense? So these are the two ways we can insert it. So here, if you are going with the first approach, you need to specify the values for all the columns. Okay. And if you are doing in this way, then you are specifying something here. Make sense? All right. Any questions?
Hey Samir, I have a question.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So you're going to take some SQL query for the basics today session?
No, I didn't get that.
No, no. Okay, today's topic you are going to cover like a SQL, like a SQL basics, right?
So that's the way we are starting, right?
Yeah, no, no. Just I'm asking it, okay? Because right, because I was working in the SQL for last couple of years. Okay, I have. Okay,
Okay.
so that's why if you are
Yeah, you
covering the
can.
basics, so I will drop off. That's the reason I asked it. Okay, nothing else.
Yeah, okay.
Okay,
Okay. That's fine. That's fine.
okay.
That's fine.
Okay,
That's
so
fine.
you don't have a class tomorrow, or the next class on Friday.
Correct. Correct.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, guys. So these are the insert statements you can work. Any questions up to here?
No. No.
Okay. So now let's do it one more things. Okay. So that is auto increment feature in a table. So let's create a table again. Create table demo. I'm just giving a demo here. And inside that, let's take, I have an ID. And I'll give the data type for that. And I have a name. I say varchar. Oh, let's take 100. An ID, I want to give integer type, but this should be auto incremented in the sense when I don't want to insert any data for the ID. If you remember, suppose you are enrolling for any kind of application for a course, or suppose you enrolled something for a hackathon or something, any kind of thing, right? So once you enter your details, there will be one enrollment number or ID will be auto generated for you, right? We are not specifying. Suppose 1001, 1003, each and every time whenever any student got enrolled, he will get a enrollment number automatically, correct? This you can correlate, right?
Yes.
Making sense, right? The same feature, suppose you want to achieve in a database world. So there are two ways to do this. So I'll explain you the two ways. Let's first the first way. So whenever I'm defining the ID and int, suppose this needs to be auto incremented, right? So I have a uh, feature called identity. Identity. E-N-T-Y-T-Y, something like that. Identity. Then I will give, there are two parameters to this. One is the seed, second one is the increment. So I will start with 1 and increment by 1. That's it. Okay. So this is an increment feature of integer type. Identity. This is your number from where I want to start it. Okay. I'll start from 1 and I will be increment by 1. So first time it will be 1, second time it will be 2, second, third time 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So now if I execute this, Your table got created. Fine. Now I want to insert it. So I don't want to insert into the ID. I just want to insert some records to the name. So insert into demo, and I need to specify, right, for which column I want to insert here. Values. So let's take A, B, C. So on the last time when you given it, if you remember, when I'm not giving one column data, it was throwing error, right? But in this case, since I have a two columns on this particular table, but I'm specifying one column here like this. So now execute it. One row got affected. Now if I write it, I select star from my demo table here. Automatically see one is entered here. Now if you enter one more, let's take XYG, then if you select star from demo, this is 2. So this is auto incrementing. Make sense? Any questions up to here? Do let
Samir,
me know. Go ahead.
yeah, insert into demo. You have specified name. If I don't specify name there,
That's a good question. Let's do that. Good question. So insert into demo, then values. Then I'm just specifying data for, let's take ACV. Will it work? Yes, it will work.
it will work
Yeah.
because
Because the first term is identity already. So it
identity
is,
or
yeah. So it
auto
is not
incremented.
asking for auto incrementer. Correct?
Oh, yeah.
Good questions.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So this is the one way to auto increment inside the table. And another way to do it is we can create a sequence. Sequence is something like the same thing, but we can create a sequence is a separate object, okay, which holds the increment value. So let me create a sequence. So create sequence, and I'm giving the sequence name as, let's take order or ID underscore number. Okay. Now I want to specify something here. So this is just like a table creation only. So creating of the sequence here, I'm just putting here. This is the first way to auto increment. Another way is to create sequence. Okay. So let's do that. So create your sequence, then ID number here. First of all, I need to define as one second, guys. Let me check. As int. First of all, I need to specify that the sequence which I created of which type of data, integer. Okay. Then I will say it should start with 1, increment by increment by 1. Okay, that's it. Now if I execute this sequence, execute, it will create a sequence of the ID number. This is a number. Okay. Now what I will do is that, got this point? Any questions? This one? Creation of this one is, any questions you have?
No.
Very good. Okay. Now let's create another table here. Create table demo 1, and let's take ID integer. That's it. I'm just creating this one name. Let's create the only ID here. I will not create anything. Now what my job is to
Shouldn't it
this
be
ID.
ID number?
Number is fine. Number here, number you are saying like
No,
this.
no. The name, ID, number you had specified earlier. Nothing required.
No, that's a sequence. From there
Okay.
we'll capture it. Now we'll capture it
Okay.
while
Okay.
inserting.
Okay. Sorry. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah. So insert into my demo one values. Now this one I want to insert from this sequence. So I can take the sequence number, sequence name, sorry, ID number. I can say like this. Next value from this. No, sorry, for, not from, for. Next val for ID underscore name. So it is starting with 1, right? So it will be the next val. So if you insert like this, 1 row got affected here. And if I see select star from my demo 1, okay, then you will get the records whichever you want. One, you got it. Now if I execute one more time, then if I execute, I should get 2 records, 1 and 2. Make sense?
Yes.
Any doubt here? Just do let me know. These are the two ways we can do an auto increment. The first way to create an identity while creating of the tables. Okay. Then another way is to create a separate sequence which in object already. Okay. And we can pass with the next value for that sequence name which you created. It will take auto increment at the value. Make sense?
Samir, can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
Yeah. So over here, in the demo one table, what
Hmm.
if I have another attribute, another column?
Doesn't matter. Not doesn't matter. So you can put
Then
comma here.
how do I
This is the
insert the
first
value?
here like this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So this is the values for the first one, and you can
Uh-huh.
put the
Okay.
customer like
Oh, okay. Got it. Got it.
yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
No problem. Okay. All right. Any questions up to here? No, right? And this is the way we can create your table, insert, then other stuffs are there like the updates and all these things. But as I told you that the creation of the table is not that important. You just need to know the syntax. Okay. And insert statement also you should know the syntax, alter, then insert, then this sequence, all these things you should know it. And the data types. What are the different data types you have in the SQL Server? By heart, we no need to remember everything. Okay. If you want, you just go to your screen and just write for the SQL Server data types. Okay. And just click on the Microsoft link here. It will throw you in a link for here, and you can just go here directly. So different data types are there: integer, small int, all these things. And if you want to just check it out, you can check it out. But by there is no compulsion that you should remember all the data types. Doesn't matter. Okay. What you're using, you should know integer, character, varchar, date. That's it. Enough is for that. So you no need to remember everything what the data types you have. But if you want still, you can just go here and just check it out. Doesn't matter. Make sense? So
Yes.
make the life simple. Okay. Because
Okay.
we should learn some other things which will help you to enhance your SQL rather than remembering the data type. How many data types I have? Doesn't require. All right. All right.
Yeah.
So now next is the last one which I will discuss today is to filter the records. Okay. Suppose you want to filter some data here. So I have a table here. Let's me go to that particular table. Then I can explain you in a better way. Is that the table is Sorry for that. Not the store procedure. Store procedure. Let me expand the table. I have a orders table. See, this order table, the create table statement and insert statement, I will give you the SQL file. I will give you. You just need to copy the paste the records and just execute it, so that you will get this table, because this table is very important, because during this our whole exercise will work with this table only. Okay, so let's execute this. Select star from my orders. So here I have around 9,994 records I have actually. So many records I have. So let me create a new screen actually. This screen is very hard for me. So Control N to get a new screen. Okay, I didn't do that. Sorry. Control N. Orders. So here we have around 9,994 records I have. So we have different order ID, the ship date. That day I showed you the Excel file, right? The Superstore file. The same. This the same file. I've just uploaded as a table into the database, so that will be helpful for us. So suppose here there are some sales are there, right? So filter the records means, suppose I want to see where the quantities are greater than 10. What are the records I have? So for that, I'll say select star from the order. Filter means where clause. Where quantity greater than 10. So it will fetch. Right now the total number of records is 994 rows in my records. But when you filter this record, I will get around 113 rows. So this is the where clause is being used to filter the records. Okay, so there are different variations will be there on the where, but right now this is the way, like quantity greater than 10. Or suppose you want to write something like, let's take the SIP mode. SIP mode is we have a first class, standard class and all. So for that, suppose I will say SIP underscore mode equals to, in the single quote I need to give you because it's a string. So I will say
String.
standard, yeah, standard class. And if I execute this, you will get only the standard class only. So I showed you one integer kind of thing. This is a string. Let's take one date. Let's take, suppose instead of this, I will say order underscore date. Let's take greater than equals to, in a single quote, 2019. Let's take 1107. I'm just randomly something I'm taking it here. It should be greater than that. So to execute, we will get all the dates which will be greater than that. So you can, in the where clause, you can specify anything, any filter, string filter, date filter, integer filter, so many filters. Okay, and there will be n number of variations also will be there. Okay, so I'm stopping it here. This will continue from the where clause, that where you stopped it. And one more thing I want to discuss before winding off. So on this one, so here on this table, right, the sales order, let me put this in this way, select start from sales order. Here already we have a XYZ column. One more time, suppose I'm inserting the XYZ, suppose XYZ, and let's take 25 only. Same record I'm inserting one more time, which is already there on the table. So if you see XYZ 25 and 230205 is already there for me. So let me put 02 as well here. So right now it will allow to insert some duplicate records into my table, because we don't have any rules set up right now on our tables that it will allow, not allowed and all. So that leads to another concept in SQL that is called your constraints. So that next class we'll discuss about your constraints and the your the filters. Okay. Any questions? I'm just stopping here. So any questions you can do, let me know. We'll take 10 minutes of a doubt session. Anything you have, just do let me know.
Amir,
Go ahead.
you had mentioned that you would share the orders file in the group.
Correct.
So you
Correct.
would be sending it as an Excel file.
No, just like the create and insert statements, it will be all the create table and insert, which you discussed right now, right? All the things
Okay.
will be there. You just
Uh-huh.
open up and just copy paste and execute it. That's it.
Okay, copy paste into the database and execute it.
Correct.
So we
Correct.
have to create a new database saying SQL data analyst, just as you
No,
did.
no, doesn't matter. You
Okay,
can follow your naming convention as
okay, okay, okay.
well.
So it should be under master or under the database.
Under the database, not in the master.
Oh, under the databases. Okay,
Yeah. So master
thank
is
you.
also inside the database only.
Ah, yeah, okay, got it. Under the database.
Yeah.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions?
So are the classes for 3 days a week only for this week or
Yeah, this
for
week.
the
Yeah,
coming
this
weeks?
week. Yeah, correct. No, no. Coming week it will be 5 days. I'm just trying to group you guys slowly, so that will be once I started up in a flow, you should be familiar with that. Okay.
Okay. And then it would be good if we create a WhatsApp group because Slack is little difficult in
Correct.
communicating.
Correct. Correct.
And
Correct.
in
Agree.
WhatsApp, we get immediate response.
Yeah, I agree. Agree on that. So I will ask Pavan and all to create a group for that. So I don't have all your number. He will have that. So he will create. I will ask him to create it, and yes,
So that, yes,
we'll yeah, and yes, we'll
if
connect
we
to the
have
WhatsApp,
any,
not to the Slack.
yeah, like if we have any, if we get any doubts also, in between us also, we can discuss and we can
Correct.
get it clarified. Yeah.
Correct. Correct. That's correct. Absolutely. We'll do that. Don't worry. We'll do that.
And the one which you told, statements which we discussed today in our class,
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
can we get this in a, um, can we export this
Yes.
sheet
Correct.
form to
You got that.
practice?
Yeah, I'll give this also. How to give this? This also you should know it. I was expecting that. This good that. So in SQL, right? If you write something one by one, I rated something, right? Still here I written, and this area I have written something. So let me put this one here as well. One file. So filter the records. This one. Okay. So now I need to save this file. So I need to click on the file, save this query 2.SQL edge. Okay. And I can specify my name. Suppose I will say this one is called, let's take the day1 underscore notes. So it will be automatically, it will be a SQL file. So this file I can share it to you. So once you double click on this file, right, it will open up directly into the SQL server. It will open the SQL server and all the whatever I have written here, automatically it will come up there. This file also I will give you. Okay, makes sense.
More thing is like, do we? Uh, I think I missed that part. I think we have to create a database for ourselves to do this
Yes,
practice.
correct, correct. So just once you logged in, right click on the database and click on the new database and give a name, and we are good to go from there.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, all right then. I think I'm done. Any further questions? If you don't have, then you can wind up.